The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try when...
Hello, this is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page. Today, my guest will be Liona Boyd. She is known as the First Lady of the Classical Guitar. She's a very special guest on Skype, all the way from Canada. So thank you for tuning in, and may we have a good half hour with her. We will indeed. She's a great artist. Catch you in a moment. Oh, hi, how are you? Welcome. All the way from where? Canada?
Toronto, Canada.
I was born there.
Yes, I know. I wasn't. I was born in London, England.
When did you come over?
Twice. When I was 8 the first time, and then when I was 12.
Huh?
And I've always been associated with Christmas because I used to play Christmas carols on the recorder when I was a kid.
So that was your first musical instrument that you came out with?
Yes, I didn't learn guitar until I was 13.
Oh.
So I used to carol sing around, well, not sing, carol play around the neighborhood and raise money and give half of it to the Humane Society.
Ah.
Those were my first early concerts, and then on the ocean liner coming over when I was 8, I did my first, I guess, performance, you could say, with my little sister. We played the Bluebells of Scotland.
Are you Scottish? Or English?
I guess my name is.
Aye.
Right.
Well, my maiden name was Lenahan.
Oh, Irish.
You think? We also have the Clan Donald of Glencoe on our side now.
Oh, well, we're all mixes of Irish and Scottish and English.
I have English too, eh?
Maybe I have a bit of Spanish too.
A2? Really? I have it in my dad's background. Spain, off the coast of Ireland.
I love Spanish music and play so much. I still play some Spanish music. It's particularly dear to me. My father was born in Spain.
So who came first, the singer or the musician with you?
Oh, I didn't sing. I didn't learn singing until I was in my 50s, can you believe? Singing is relatively new to me. I was known as a guitarist, so I traveled the whole world playing classical guitar, but I started when I was 13. So I was kind of a late starter, but I must have had some music in me to excel and win prizes and tour all over the world.
Oh, you did a lot of touring. How old were you when you started to tour?
Well, I did a degree in music. I lived in Mexico for a while, then I lived in Paris, studying music with Alexander Lagoya.
Oh, yeah.
I toured everywhere from, Calcutta to Kathmandu to every symphony hall across Europe and, of course, all over North America. Carnegie Recital Hall I did in I was probably about 26, I guess. And I played Los Angeles. I did the opening act for Gordon Lightfoot, and that was about 100 concerts all over North America.
I have a crush on that guy.
I just saw him 2 weeks ago, and I wrote a special song for him, and he loves it. It's on my new album called No Remedy for Love, and the song is simply called Lightfoot. I got permission to use all his very famous lines and involve some of my own lines, and he's so touched. So it's very meaningful that he loves the song so much. And I got Romping Ronnie Hawkins to sing on the choruses. So he said, Leona, how did you ever get my buddy Ronnie Hawkins? Because he's a legend. Well, they're both legends. Maybe I'll be a legend one day.
Oh, you already are in my book.
Thank you.
So, you've been all over the place. How often do you tour each year? Is it half a year or more?
Well, there's no rule. I mean, now I'm just starting a little tour in Canada. I'm not doing so many big international tours. I got one concert in West Palm Beach in January, and I'm accompanied by a wonderful young singer and guitarist called Andrew Dawson. So we're going to the Maritimes and playing there, and then that big Toronto Christmas concert, actually two, one in the end of November, one in December. And, I've been very lucky to have a lot of variety. Now I play as a duo, but in the past I played in symphonies. I played a lot of solo concerts. That's what I did for many, many years. And then twice I played with bands. That entails all kinds of other complications, of course, but it was great fun. And because I did a record that had Eric Clapton and David Gilmour and Yo-Yo Ma, so that was a whole different way of touring. But my fans have been just great, and did a lot of TV shows, did The Tonight Show 3 times, with Merv Griffin, and Dinah Shore, and The Today Show.
Oh my goodness, woman!
Yeah. So I helped introduce millions of people to the classical guitar, which I think is the most beautiful of all instruments.
I do. I think your music is exquisite. It's
Thank you, Betty.
excellent. And I love listening to your music all the time whenever I can.
Thank you. It's very soothing. There's something very intimate about classical guitar. It's a simple instrument. It's just basically a little curved wooden box with 6 strings, right? It's not complicated with levers and things like the piano. I mean, I love piano, but the guitar, you can transport it. I've played a guitar in a canoe. I've taken it around the world to all kinds of remote places, and introduced the classical guitar, to northern communities in Canada where I'm sure they hadn't had any concerts before. And I kind of was a musical ambassador around the world. I lived in LA for many years too.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm actually joint nationality, joint citizenship.
Mm.
So I'm very, very happy that I have a new book out. Can I show it?
Let's show
it. Here it is. It's called
No Remedy for Love.
It's a quote, a famous quote by Henry David Thoreau that goes, "There is no remedy for love but to love more." And that just got released all around the world. You can get it on Amazon. And this is my former book that was a bestseller.
In My Own Key, right.
Yeah, In My Own Key, My Life in Love and Music. And that came out in '98, and it's a pretty thick book. And in the future there'll be an audio book of you, because I read it all last year. It hasn't come out yet. And I'm going to read this one when I get back to my winter house in Palm Beach this year. And it tells a lot of the stories. This is, by the way, the new Christmas album that I'm touring with. It's called A Winter Fantasy.
Oh, I love that.
You love Christmas music. I know you do, Patty. It's special, isn't it? It's great you're doing it.
It's spiritual. It's very spiritual. Makes you feel good.
Yeah.
So,
Very calming. And I interwove original melodies with traditional Christmas themes. And I know people have told me that it just transports them to a really special, peaceful place, and that's what Christmas is about. So all 3 records are very different, but this is my favorite one, Winter Fantasy.
how long did it take for you? How many DVDs do you have?
DVDs, well, mostly we don't sell too many DVDs. I've done a whole compilation of different music videos. You can see most of them on YouTube, free actually.
YouTube,
so
yeah.
I have 2 official DVDs. One's called Liona Boyd Around the World, and one is called Liona Live in Concert. But these days people just seem to go to YouTube. And on my website, which is classicalguitar.com or leonaboyd.com, you can have a link. And on one of them you see lots of different videos. So it's really gratifying. I know I have it's close to 5 million YouTube hits, which for classical artists is pretty significant. From Malagueña to Albinoni, it's one of my favorite ones that I did in Italy.
And your favorite classical bit? What is what favorite classical?
I love the Spanish composers, I guess I'd have to say. Pieces, there's a video actually to a piece called Moorish Dance that I arranged. I don't have one particular favorite. Well, Malagueña is obviously a big hit all around the world, and people seem to love that one. It's actually written by a Cuban composer, La Corona, and it's known as a Spanish piece. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. And then Recuerdos de la Alhambra is another favorite of mine. And now I'm writing all my own music, so some of it you can hear the influence of Spanish. I did an album called Camino Latino, which is kind of Latin, Nuevo Flamenco. You see, the beauty now of the internet, you can buy all my old records going back to the 70s. They've all been digitally remastered, and anybody can get them on Apple Music and iTunes, all the different streaming formats. I say, going back to my very early record, which came out in 1975.
Do you read notes?
Oh, yes.
So
yeah, I've got music all over the place. My whole house is full of music, yes.
And the guitar that you have, is it acoustics or is it electric?
I don't have an electric anymore, but I did play an electric classical guitar. You plugged it in, but it was basically a classical sound.
Right.
It was made for me especially by Yamaha. But now I play a guitar, well, a collection, but mostly the guitars made in LA. I used to play the ones made in Spain, but they're all based on the Spanish design, the Spanish model, and it's just a beautiful, resonant, very special sound. And now with Andrew on this tour, we're playing two guitars, we do some classical, we do some singing. I read a bit of poetry. He does a couple of solos because he has a fantastic voice. And I'm really lucky. His age is 26 and very enthusiastic. He's my new protege. And I like to help young musicians and give them a start. I helped Pablo, took him on tour and launched his career. And in the past, I've worked with quite a few different Canadian musicians.
Right.
So that's very satisfying.
I write lyrics as well.
Oh, do you write lyrics? I love writing lyrics.
Inspirational and all. And protest as well, whatever.
Well, you need all kinds of lyrics, right? Since I was a little girl, I was writing lyrics. I won the prize actually for best story when I was in infant school in England.
Oh.
And what is really nice, I went back to London earlier this year, and I had a private concert that I gave to Prince Philip, who is married to the Queen of England. He's 96, and he's amazing. He's been my pen pal for 30 years, and he and the Queen both love horses. So on the album, I have a piece of music that I wrote called Love of the Horse, and it's special. So I got to perform it for him in Windsor Castle, along with a few other pieces.
Yeah, you did. You're doing smashingly good.
Oops, you're going soft now.
I said, you're doing great. You're doing great. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. You're Canadian originally, right?
Torontonian, really.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Right? And we're very proud of you being part of our country.
Thank you so much. I wore my medals for you.
What is
an Order
that?
of Canada and an Order of Ontario.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I worked hard for those. I've played everything from fishing villages to tar sands to major cities with symphonies, and Canada's been very good to me. And it's nice to be back home. I escaped the cold weather in the winter, but basically I'm living in Toronto now.
Toronto?
Right in Yorkville, right in the center of the city. It's changed a lot since you knew Toronto, though. Toronto's really grown tremendously. We have people from all over the world, of course, and it's like a construction site these days, but I can see the lake from my window, from my condo.
Like Ontario?
Yeah, I'm looking at the CN Tower as we speak, and Lake Ontario is shining in the distance. Even though it's a dull day, it's got sun on it over there. Yeah.
Is it snowing? Is it snowing?
No,
No?
not yet.
No?
Not yet.
Not that way
You
here.
can see across to Rochester if you really have good eyes.
I don't. I have to wear glasses. Oh my goodness. Pardon me. Anyways, you sent us a video of Oh Holy Night.
Oh, yes, sorry, I'm forgetting. I did Oh Holy Night. That's right, I have that long white dress that my dressmaker in Beverly Hills made for me. He's working on a new gown, actually, a red one, he said. So, yes, Oh Holy Night, we were freezing to death in this church in Toronto. And I would remember holding a coffee cup to try and keep warm.
I saw your breath.
breath.
I could see your breath in the...
Yeah, could you? With the candles. Yeah, they'd forgotten to turn on the heating in the church.
Oh.
Crazy. We were all so cold that day. But sometimes you have to suffer for art. I mean, when I did my Camino Latino cover shot in the desert, oh, it was hot. And I was looking at the sun and walking over cactus spines. You know, every album cover has a story, and I have 28 albums. So each one of those is a story behind how it happened. My first Christmas album, I took the curtains off the wall of the photographic studio and draped them around me like a sari. And that was one called A Guitar for Christmas, and it was the first album ever in the classical genre to go platinum. I actually beat out Glenn Gould, so that was an achievement. And the record company didn't think a Christmas album would sell with classical guitar, but it went double platinum. So.
When did you start to do your singing then? How long have you been doing that?
Oh, just a few years. 7 years, I guess.
So you built up a nice repertoire with that?
Yes, I love singing. It's a whole new chapter in my life. At the back of this book, you know, they let me print a lot of the lyrics. So it's also, a lot of them are on my website. But I love the creative process of writing songs because you have to tell a whole story, condense it down to about 3 or 4 minutes. I have a patriotic song for Canada that is on an album I did called The Return to Canada with Love. And I have many renowned Canadian singers joining me. Because Canada, you know, we don't have a lot of patriotic songs. Chris Hadfield, the astronaut, joined me for the first opening line. And I had Serena Ryder and Dan Hill, you know, many singers who gone on to amazing things.
Dan Hill's my favorite, really.
Oh,
Is he?
he's a great guy. He wrote Sometimes When We Touch, for anybody that doesn't know, and that song gets stuck in your head. And we've done some joint concerts together, too.
Oh. Chat about Christmas and what type of Christmases you have ham or turkey, or do you eat vegetables? You're a veggie. Yeah.
I'm pretty much vegetarian. I eat some fish, but I don't eat mammals. I've never eaten red meat because my parents were vegetarian. That's probably one of the secrets to my good health, and I think it's actually better for the planet if more of us would become vegetarian, or at least cut back on meat consumption. And it's also ethical reasons too. I love animals. Prefer not to eat them.
Yeah.
But Christmas time, I know everybody, it's so tradition to have turkey or goose or
Salmon we eat.
Yeah. Well, Christmas was very special when I was a kid. You know, in England, we as a family, but these days my family's a bit split up. So I spent a few Christmases by myself, but always very happy writing music. Last Christmas, I think I spent alone, but I was in Palm Beach and in the Breakers Hotel. I was finishing writing my book. And of course, I Skyped my family and wished everybody Merry Christmas. And then I've had some Christmases in exotic places in the world. I was married. I was on cruise ships sometimes, and I played on some of the cruise ships. And I'm not quite sure what I'm doing this Christmas, but I'll probably be in the U.S. and enjoying it.
Do you ever come to Fort Wayne then?
Usually I don't hear my own records, but I know a lot of people will be opening up and getting the Winter Fantasy album and enjoying my other albums that many people tell me they grew up listening to, so that's really nice to hear. And I have a little Christmas tree, actually, that I planted in the garden, in my garden in Palm Beach, and every year it gets bigger. It survives all the hurricanes and the tropical storms. It always looks a bit the worse for wear, but then I water it and it comes back to life. I hope it's okay after that last hurricane. My patio got a bit beaten up. The handyman said my bougainvillea had been destroyed in a hurricane.
Well,
I guess we'll have to replace it. I lived in California for quite a long time. Then I lived in Connecticut. And I wrote a song that's on the Winter Fantasy album called Alone on Christmas Day, because I spent one whole Christmas, I was alone with the snow falling. It was quite romantic. I wrote a song that day. And then remembering that scene, I wrote this song because a lot of people are alone on Christmas Day.
yeah.
People that have lost their families or, I chose to be alone. I could have gone somewhere. But I just had a very peaceful, serene Christmas Day by myself.
Would you ever come to Fort Wayne, Indiana then?
Right?
Would you ever come to Fort Wayne, Indiana then?
Oh, I have been there in the past, but I haven't been to Fort Wayne in a long time. I used to play
Embassy?
Kokomo and is it South Bend.
Mm-hmm.
I played quite a bit in India. Logansport, yeah. And of course Indianapolis. And when I toured with Gordon Lightfoot, we played somewhere.
Right.
Some big theater, outdoor place there. Yeah.
Well, we would love to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much. I know I have a big following in the U.S. and people can follow me through Twitter and through Facebook. And it's a shame that these days I seem to be doing more touring in Canada, but I know that people have loved my music in the U.S. and I get played quite often on PBS and on some of the radio stations. So thank you.
Thank
Hi,
you.
my American fans.
Thank you so much for being on my show, Liona Boyd. You have
Thank you very much.
you are a blessing, and we are so proud of you, us Canadians, no matter where we are.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays.
The stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till He appeared and the soul felt its worth. Godspeed, my love, until we meet again. You're always in my heart and every dream. Don't let this time apart give in to all our fears. God will keep us close from up above. So until